Hello, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Big, broad picture. Look at that. An absence of tropical cyclone projections, and things are quieted down a little bit in that department. Meantime, we have a pretty good zonal flow that's moving in from west to east with some minor shortwaves. What's going to end up happening is a pretty good push of colder air is going to be in the pretty much the eastern center to eastern part of the country, coming out of Canada, and this is in the process of kind of building some ridging and also some warming weather. What we're going to see basically this week. Eventually, that colder air gets in here, not until probably somewhere along about Tuesday night or really on Wednesday. Beyond that point, we're looking at some autumn weather moving back into the region for the mid to late part of next week. Not as much smoke out there as well, so we're not seeing as much import across the northern tier regions into New England. So the skies will get probably progressively a little bit more bluer, and especially after this precipitation event moves on through. Some thunderstorms, in fact, northern Minnesota. This is a system that's going to be kind of really heading into Canada, but eventually we're going to see some of that work in our neck of the woods with a bit of a southwesterly flow. This is the remnants and leftovers of what was left of beta. Looking at the big picture, this is how we're setting up some warmer conditions working in across the northeast United States, and of course it's warmest in the Central Plains right now, and this is being sort of dislodged as some progressively more inclement weather is kind of working down from the Gulf of Alaska, an area of low pressure, and into the west coast, and then kind of offsetting and then bumping some of that warmer air eastward. Running the computer models, you can see this is going into this coming weekend, and we can see some of that warmest air getting into our neck of the woods here, basically on Sunday. And notice this big patch of cold air. This is resembling in a kind of a weaker level of what we saw back a couple weeks ago when they had a big snowstorm in Denver and whatnot. Indeed, this heads right down into northern Mexico once again. But look back at in our neck of the woods, we're continuing to see warmer than normal temperatures up until the time we get into about Wednesday. This is valid about 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, and this is some of the slightly cooler weather that's going to make it into our neck of the woods here. Precipitable water, the metric for identifying a little bit increased in moisture, we're seeing around neutral to about 1 standard deviation sigma, and a little bit of that moves on by. We get into the heart of Saturday and into Sunday, and you can see how things kind of work out. This is that frontal boundary we were talking about, and it is going to kind of increase with moisture coming in from the southwest, and it looks like it intensifies a little bit. But this is about 2 to 3 standard deviations, 2 to 3 sigma, basically on Tuesday night. And then once it goes on by, there's another weather system that's going to be developing in the Ohio River Valley. This is beyond the period. This looks like it could have some wind as well as some better chances for rainfall as well. That would be along about Thursday, Friday. And once again, looking at the European incrementals, we can see just a little bit of spritzy rainfall potentially this afternoon, and basically increasing amounts of sunshine for a time. And then we're pretty dry over the weekend. You can see what's going on here. A little bit of precipitation creeps into southern parts of Vermont. That's valid at about 11 o'clock on Monday. That's by 2. That's 5 o'clock on Monday. Very scanty, not a whole lot. It's mainly going to be involved with the frontal system itself, which is kind of winding up and gearing up. But it's a relatively narrow band, but it does work on through, and this again is valid Tuesday overnight into Wednesday morning, and then another area of low pressure and yet another disturbance kind of working in with some Gulf of Mexico moisture with higher PWATs. That's going to be working in after the period. So this looks like that has the possibility of some gradient wind issues, especially along the western slopes of the Green Mountains. At this point in time, no real big worries, but again, this is beyond the period. We're looking at basically Thursday night, October the 2nd. And here's the GFS ensemble, and looking at the 3-hourly QPF. Again, this is valid once we head toward this weekend and beyond. It's some increase in total QPF. This is good to see, at least over an inch. We'll have to wait and see how this is all going to work on out. And the Weather Prediction Center is also indicating this is 7-day total quantitative precipitation forecast. And it does indicate that we're going to see maybe potentially 2-inch amounts, 1 to 2 inch amounts here. So that's progressively a whole lot better than what we've been seeing. I'm not going to hold my breath, however. And switching to temperature, this is what it looks like with the warming that we've been seeing that's kind of working on in. I got pretty good agreement between the GFS ensemble, Canadian ensemble, and the European model with the projected temperatures and a pretty good drop once we get into basically Tuesday night into Wednesday. But in the short term, 5 days of meteorological output statistics showing the next high temperatures running about 12 to 15 degrees above normal. And about 3 days later, we start to see that drop off a little bit with the weighted effects, starting to see some of that colder air beginning to work on in, and a touch of autumn with a bit of a roller coaster ride in temperature. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.